Hitler becomes Chancellor. As the Depression got worse, political instability grew. Several parties were competing for power in the elections of 1932. In 1933, the Nazis would emerge on top. Hitler's rise continued. Hindenburg refused to give the Nazis the power, however. By April 1932, economic conditions had worsened. The country was desperate for a strong government. President Hindenburg had to stand for re-election because his term in office had run out. He was a national hero, but Hitler decided to run against him. Despite claiming he'd win easily, Hindenburg didn't win a majority in the first election. In the second ballot, he won 53%, beating Hitler's 36.8%. In May 1932, Chancellor Brüning was dismissed and replaced by Franz von Papen. In the elections of July 1932, the Nazis became the most popular party in the Reichstag. Hitler demanded to be Chancellor, but Hindenburg did not trust him and refused his request. This could have been a dead end for Hitler. Hindenburg was the only one who could legally appoint him Chancellor of Germany. The Nazis lost 34 seats in the November 1932 election. They seemed to be losing popularity. In December 1932, Hindenburg replaced Papen with one of his advisors, Kurt von Schleicher. Schleicher tried to cause divisions in the Nazi party by asking another leading Nazi to be vice-chancellor, Gregor Strasser, but Hitler stopped Strasser from accepting. Papen resented Schleicher because he suspected Schleicher had persuaded Hindenburg to dismiss him. He wanted to get back to government, so he made a deal with Hitler. They agreed that if Papen persuaded Hindenburg to make Hitler Chancellor, Hitler would make Papen Vice-Chancellor. In January 1933, Papen persuaded Hindenburg to replace Schleicher with Hitler. Papen argued that they could control Hitler and use him as a puppet. He was wrong. In 2 months' time, we will have pushed Hitler so far into a corner, he'll be squeaking. Quote from Franz von Papen. In January 1932, there were 6 million people unemployed. Hitler uses the Depression to promise better things. Hitler stands against Hindenburg in 1932 and loses. In July 1932, the Nazis are the largest party in the Reichstag with 230 seats. The Nazis lose seats in the November 1932, but they are still the largest party. And by January 1933, Hitler is offered the chancellorship. There are 2 different interpretations of Hitler's rise to power, and there is evidence to support both opinions. Interpretation 1. After the onset of the Great Depression, Germans were willing to support any strong extremist party as an alternative to the democratic Weimar government. After the Great Depression, both the Nazi Party and the Communist Party became more popular. Support for moderate parties like the Social Democratic Party dropped off, so this interpretation can be seen to have some evidence behind it. Interpretation 2, there was only one credible party to turn to after the Great Depression hit, the Nazi Party. It was the only party with a charismatic leader who had mass appeal. This interpretation could also have evidence to suggest that it is correct. The Nazi Party grew more rapidly than any other party after 1928. Hitler's passion and energy made the Nazis stand out, and the support for the KPD, or the Communist Party, simply couldn't keep up.